Yay.
How do you say, yes, it's like, is it A?
Say what?
How do you say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it varies where there's tone or whether there's tone. Some people say just a real long, toneless string of A's. And then some people say So it could go.
So when I start, it would be appropriate to say ah.
Yep. Huh. All right. Let's see. We'll wait and see if anyone else shows up today. Oh, we're still missing some of the usual suspects, but we'll just see. Sometimes at this point in the semester, things just start happening. Well, let's take a look at the weather chapter. We'll start there, and then we'll do some departures after. When we get closer, we'll talk about how to end conversations. So this is the beginning Tlingit handout, our workbook. Get there. I've got page. Let's start at the page 87. Here. Okay. So again, we know how to say, how are you doing? Ţusteeyí. And we went through this whole string of potential answers, including some stuff that could be, it could end a conversation pretty quick if it's not taken correctly. And then just some other stuff, just a variety of conversation things. So let's just start with that before we move into I'll just ask each of you an invasive question. I'm going to get right to your business. Ţusteeyí. 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 Okay. Tante, Ţusteeyí.
Okay.
Okay. So as far as a conversation goes, if you wanted to start a conversation with that, you could. And then if somebody started a conversation like that, you can say, what after you said how you're doing, you could say, Ţusteeyí, what I would say, what So Ţusteeyí, 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 Yay. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Conjunction, no wait, conjunction. There's several of these things that sort of create a twist in Tlingit. So you could say it's like this. Is one of the really rolling. They might say Ḳusteeyí. They say Ḳusteeyí. And that's just a contract. And so you say, however, but if we're sort of thinking of logic moving in a line, just turns it a little bit, right? So it's like you could say ways we've learned would be Ţusteeyí lands, right? And so that's Ţusteeyí, and now that's the say my name in Tlingit is Ţusteeyí because I'm saying it. But then I can say, however, in English, it's lands. So you could use it that way. And just pay attention to how you see it. It's used to sort of do sort of a slight adjustment, I think, to the logic. And if you need to turn the logic more, there's one you use which is cha-on. 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 This summer at Shagun, she used that phrase. She was saying, we did a game, which we'll probably try in here. Especially next semester, we'll start doing more stuff like this where we're trying to use really descriptive language instead of memorized language. We're trying to come up with ways to describe things. And I had them, we all knew what kind of stuffed animals we had. We all knew there's this big hockey bag. It was very fitting because we're in Canada, so there's a hockey bag full of little stuffed animals. And it was awesome because all the stuffed animals were local things. I think I talked about this yesterday, the absence of local sort of animals in kid stories. So we need to be developing children's stories in Tlingit so we can read Tlingit stories to our kids. Anyways, so they're all local animals. And it was really neat because and it's really neat that people are making these stuffed animals that we can use. So then everybody, they're broken into teams, and they set one person up to pick an animal and to hide it in like a jacket so no one else can see it. And they go back and they show it to their group, and they don't let anybody see, and they come up with 5 sentences to describe that thing. And by the 5th sentence, we should get it. So the 4th and 5th should start getting pretty easy as far as being really descriptive and having pretty sort of short sentences. Because we had all different, we had beginners to advanced learners in there. We had several fluent speakers, which was helpful because we had 4 or 5 different groups, and there was a fluent speaker in each group. It was really, because we were coming up with Tlingit, I think she said, Yagis, Wushas Ҭusteeyí, Gsmåtein. In the fall, they fight with each other for a wife. She was talking about moose. It was really neat. And then, anyway, so they came up with these 5 sentences, and Shagun came up with one, which was, Ye kugink away Ḳusteeyí, cha-on away Ḥusteeyí. Their hands are really tiny. You can eat with them, right? And I think it was even like, and yet they're still alive. Oh yeah, they exist because they can eat with these tiny hands. And she was talking about a chipmunk, right? Because they get like such. So it was really fun to see how a fluent speaker thinks of things. But so that's a more abrupt, however, to say it's like this. However, despite that. So is more like sort of, and the English equivalent might be however or although. Cha-on would be more like, or despite that. So you're doing more of a hard term interlocutor. But when you say what in that context, since the question's been asked to you, you're just saying and you. So you're just saying and you. How are you? Okay. Back to making small talk. Ḳusteeyí. Ḳusteeyí. Daisling. Ḳusteeyí. Teach you how to survive in the interior, because you might not make it. There was an elder I was talking to, and we're right by the Yukon River. And I said, what's that do with South Yahin? She said, Dasa. What's that do with South Yahin? Dasa. Masa do with South Yahin. And then she told me. It was just really fun. Because then I was like, wait a minute. I'm being teased. Okay. So the Ḳ in this case is talking about the weather. And you'll just start to learn that there's a number of different particles, these little things that are all the same. We talked about there's 3 of these things that could pop up right before. The downside is they're all identical and they pop up in basically the same spot. The upside is there can only be one of them. So the one that you might see is wait, no, that's not right. When you say Ḳusa, we did this. Did we do the love verb in here yesterday? Was that in here? Okay. So you said Ḳusteeyí, Ixachan, talking about how to conjugate these verbs for loving. But then you could just sort of make a verb into a noun, which is Ḳusaxan. Everybody say Ḳusaxan.
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 Yeah. We Beatles ayah hastu khidach. Takata tatina khas hayati Ḳusaxan. Love is all we need, right? And so that means love of people. So that Q in there is people. And it's a contraction of Qa, which is an object pronoun, which we'll see. And so Tlingit does this thing with pronouns where you could say, like Barney, and you can conjugate all these different ways. I love you, you love me, I love y'all, y'all love me, we love you, we love y'all, I love him or her, I love them, and you go back and forth, but really there's about 6 combinations on each side. Tlingit adds a few more to the mix. There's some of them we won't look at until we get to like some advanced Tlingit. But the one that we'll start to sort of pay attention to is what we call the indefinite human and the indefinite non-human. In some texts, these are referred to as the 4th person. So for example, you could say Ḳusteeyí. So what you've got there is 0, Ḳusteeyí. I love him, her, or it. And I love you. Ḳusteeyí. And that Qa pops up there, and it means I love people. Okay, I love people, and that's how that one works. The indefinite human, and then you could say At Ḳusteeyí. I love something. And now when you start to speak Tlingit, the 0 pronoun is going to be sneaky, because a lot of times you're going to want to say At in place of it, because that's going to just sort of function as like you need to have something there, whereas in Tlingit there should be nothing there, because the At has its own sort of special set of meanings. It's a very, At on its own just means something, but it's such a powerful word in Tlingit. You're going to see it all over the place. Shayet, it's in there. Chayet, it's in there. Xusteeyí, it's in there. Ţukaneedi, it's in there. Shakiat. And then there's this term, the term that I've heard for Tlingit, for Northwest Coast artwork, Ţusteeyí. That's what I've heard. Ţusteeyí. The thing that is a thing. First realized, really? So, and this word At, the way it can change, to the clan names, right? It's in the possessive form, that relational form. The other thing is Atu, the thing that has been purchased, like a whole bunch of them at the same time. And that really translates to sacred clan item. Atuskuu, not like something that is known. Translates to wisdom. It's a name for a school. And you'll see it pop up quite a bit. And then it can also sort of have these suggestive sort of ways. Like I could say, Kahwe khadana, I'm drinking coffee. Hin khadana, I'm drinking water. But if I say at khadana, I'm drinking alcohol, right? That means just alcohol. And so sometimes the at has its own sort of special meaning. Segu is happiness. At segu, sex, right? And so there was one time I said like something segu, and Ella was like, "What did you say?" So I like could feel the sweat starts to come. I'm like, to segu, I think. And then she told me that one. And then same, you could say like, eat yan uwaha. Hunger has arrived. Eat yatawaha. Sleep has like arrived. And there's certain feelings in Tlingit where like just suddenly it's there. And that's the way Tlingit looks at it. You know, so it's not like you're sitting there and then you're starting to get tired and then you're getting, you know, it's like if you're sitting there, sometimes you're sleepy all of a sudden, right? Boom. And that's how Tlingit sort of describes it. It's like this thing has arrived. But then you could say, eat atuwaha. Like it has arrived, baby. And you turn the lights down, you keep music. Right? So it's interesting how these things sort of function in Tlingit. So anyways, back to the original point. In certain instances, it's probably the rarest of the bunch, but it can mean people. The people who are eating people, cannibals. The much more common one is Ḳ, and we call it the aerial prefix, A-R-E-A-L. Refers to a space, saying there's some space that is being referenced. Ḳusteeyí, Ḳusteeyí, life, to exist, to be in some sort of space, is sort of how you think of it. And it's a really interesting sort of concept. You're going to see it in certain places, to make a settlement somewhere. And we'll just keep an eye out for these different things as they pop up. But this one, Ḳusteeyí, it pops up in a few places, and it really is just specific to the weather. Some people might argue that the aerial and the weather one are the same, but they seem to be just slightly different. So it seems like there's three distinct ones. Weather and the aerial one being closer to one another. But you know, when there's these certain verbs, and they really are talking about the weather. Because you could say, Ḥusteeyí, how are people? Which is a really weird thing to say. I guess if you're being sort of philosophical, you get deep, you could say something like that. But in this case, whenever we hear Ḥusteeyí, we're thinking about the weather. We're talking about the weather. So the first one, look at us. Ḥusteeyí,
Ḳusteeyí,
Ḥusteeyí,
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 Ḥusteeyí.
Ḥusteeyí.
The weather is good. The other thing that we're seeing here that we keep an eye on is yati becomes wati, yake becomes wake, and all that's happening is there's a u coming before it. And if we were to really write this thing, like sometimes we write in a sort of a linguistic language, and we would write a y with two dots over it. A long time ago, there was a different sound in Tlingit that's no longer in Tlingit. It's kind of like nya. And so you'd say wasak nyati, and it would have this little bit of a nya. They call it the gamut, sort of a nasally sound. And when that sound faded out, it got replaced by either a y or a w, because it's neither one. So if there's a u or a double o right before it, it'll, in verbs especially, it'll change. It used to do that in nouns as well. It'd say do what the nouns. So then, right in sunshine, Audagon,
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 Audagon.
Audagon,
Deslim Qa'a, Umdagon,
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 Umdagon.
Umdagon.
So that's the Teslan. We're doing a few things with the Teslan dialect today. And so that's for it to be sunshiny. The root gon means to burn or to be lit. Push a goose,
Push a goose,
push a goose,
push a goose,
push a goose.
push a goose.
That means plowing. And again, there's this L classifier that pops up, and it means to have that characteristic. So if I had a sweatshirt that had little ears on it, or if this hat had little ears on it, I could call this hat shagukus, the eared hat. And this is, you would use a version of this type of verb to say something. I'd have to research that question. To say like, I only have 1 foot. In Tlingit, it was Ḳusteeyí. To be 1-footed is basically how that. And the word for Ḳusteeyí, because it means the verb form of this to say it is unarmed, has no arms. And then again, this is just how Tlingit sees the world, and we'll see this in certain clan houses. Ţiqústeeyí hit, the dorsal fin house. It's fin. Ones that don't have this though is like if you lose an eye. There's a specific way to describe it. Ḳusteeyí. Everybody take a look in your book at that one and put a little high tone on that. The A. It says Ḳusteeyí. More school. Now, NSA talking to us. Listening to you. Hunter, did you hear that series of beeps? Are you still on? Maybe hang it up. Okay, I'm taking a brief intermission while we try to fix the phone.
Enter your sentence. Please hold for the tone to join your conference.
Okay, we'll keep going. All right. Okay. So again, yat'a or uwat'a would be the verb on its own without the weather part. And this means for something to be warm or hot. Hunter.
I kind of found with my face.
It was like beeping like crazy on our end. It was hung it up and then we just stopped it. Okay. Ḳusteeyí. And that's to be cold. And so again, se'at would be without, if we just took the q right off of it. So now we've got the phrase, and we'll start building some phrases out of this. So for example, let's say we're in Fairbanks or Whitehorse and it's December and it's 50 below, like it gets there. So then I might say, Ḳusteeyí again. And that's saying, is it cold? Ḳusteeyí again. And then your answer might be, we say, qunach. Qunach. So that qunach means really. And usually it could be on its own, like qunach. Like someone might say, like let's say we're watching a dance group and they're really just going on, just dancing really well. And then you say, they're really dancing well. And I might say, qunach. Like, and that's we're having a conversation. So it could exist on its own to just really agree with something. But if you're using it, there's a couple different modifying some of these verbs. If you say qunach verb, it's really verbing, right? Qunach ḳusteeyí, qunach quwat'a, qunach quwak'e, qunach qunach awdagan. And that's saying it's really And so it could come before, almost every verb. And it's just to say it's really doing something. And what you'll find with Tlingit is there's different ways. There tends to be fewer sort of adjectives in English as a whole. Like I could say, it's really cold. Oh, it's very cold. It's rigidly cold, right? There's a whole bunch of different things that I could do. And in Tlingit, you could do a lot of different things. But you can move into metaphor, have really as many of those adjective type things around. Now you can also say Ďudach. There is say Ďudach,
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 or that could contract to Ďudach,
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 Ďudach.
Ďudach.
And that means too much, right? It's too much. So the first one is really, and then that one's too much. Okay. Glade dark woesetan.
Glade dark woesetan.
Glade dark woesetan.
Glade dark woesetan.
Glade dark.
Glade dark woesetan.
As we're really focusing on our Tlingit and learning more and more phrases, we learn to start paying attention to certain things. Tone and vowel length. Glade dark woesetan. So you can see how the tone crawls, it jumps up at the end, but it's low everywhere else. And it's also dark, is nice and long. I have a history of shortening things a lot and just sort of messing up tone. It has things to sort of work on. And for me, all the time. And when I listen, because a lot of times I make recordings with these fluent speakers, and I would try to say some things to them in Tlingit to sort of get them to really switch over into the language. Because a lot of our elders, it's not like they don't know how to speak. They're the speakers. They're amazing. But sometimes they tell me, they say it's hard. It's hard for me because I don't get to speak it. So it's like if you and Tlingit was something that you really love to do, but then if you never had it would just get hard sometimes. And so one of the things is I would start the recorder, I would start talking to them, and then when I went through, I'd usually leave the stuff. Listen to what I said at the beginning. I'm saying, and I feel like a teenager was saying, all the time. So it's always good to just sort of self-monitor, not to the point where you're limiting yourself, but that you're always continuously trying to. So that dog, everybody say dog,
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 dog.
dog.
So we've been starting to talk about some of these senses of space, how things relate to each other. This is one of the sets that has to do with the ocean. But it's a really interesting thing because it seems to be the exact same word, but it has multiple meanings depending on the context. So you could say dog, as in we pushed a boat out to sea, right? It's going out to sea away from the shore. That's dog. There's another one, like say you're out hunting and you're sitting by a clearing and you see a deer walk out into this clearing. He walks out into the open. That's dog. It's the same word. Or drop into a fire. And then if precipitation is going to fall from the sky, that is also dog. Seems to be the same word. I don't know why it would have all those different meanings, but it seems it does. That's how I think it works. And then woesetan is, setan is the verb. You need that dog plus the woesetan. The other thing that you get with this is one of the verbs that we see. There's going to be 3 terms that we're using in this lesson: perfective, imperfective, future. These words basically take the place of what we learn in English as past tense, present tense, future tense. But because Tlingit is less concerned with time and more concerned with whether the verb occurs or not, perfective means it has happened. Imperfective means it hasn't happened yet, or it's in the process, it's happening right now. And then future means it's going to happen. And what we'll find is each of these can be what we call positive or negative. So we could say for perfective, it has happened, or it happened, or it didn't happen. For imperfective, you can say it's happening now, or it's not happening now. In the future, you say it's going to happen, or it's not going to happen. So those are the sort of, but right now we'll just stay with the positive forms. Happened, is happening, will happen. And so this one is, there's certain forms, certain verbs in Tlingit that if you say it's happening right now, siu da kusatan, that would mean right now. But you could say Tk'usteeyí siu da kusatan. Yesterday it was raining, today it was raining, and the verb doesn't change. And there's a few verbs that are like siu da kusatan,
siu da kusatan,
siu da kusatan,
siu da kusatan,
siu da kusatan.
siu da kusatan,
And then kadas da kusatan,
kadas da kusatan,
kadas da kusatan,
kadas da kusatan,
kadas da kusatan.
kadas da kusatan.
So we get this da kusatan, it's precipitating, and then we name it right before that. So what we have coming right before that is a noun specifying the type of precipitation. Like snow, siu, rain, kadas, hail, Ḳusteeyí, slush, Ḳusteeyí da kusatan,
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 da kusatan,
Ksehja da kusatan,
Ksehja da kusatan.
Ksehja da kusatan.
So now we've got snow, rain, hail, slush or sleet, and then Ksehja is a really fine rain. It's really tiny raindrops that tend to just sort of drizzle around. And you could do the same thing. We're going to probably see it pretty soon, and you'll also see it in the spring. Usually in the fall and in the spring, you get these giant snowflakes that come down, and as soon as they hit the ground, they just melt. Ňuqṭāṭī is what we call them. So you say ňuqṭāṭī da kusatan.
Ņuqṭāṭī da kusatan.
It is grouse pooping out. Ņuqṭāṭī. Ņuqṭāṭī. Ņuqṭāṭī.
Ņuqṭāṭī.
Hot is the word for poop. Ḳusteeyí.
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 It's foggy, right? So what's is like fog or a grayish color. Ayawditi.
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 So some of these would have the k on there, and that's weather. There's another thing that could pop up in that same spot. Remember, we go object, subject, verb, object, subject, verb. There's some things that can pop up in the object spot, and one of them is the letter A. Sometimes be confusing because sometimes the letter A means you have a third person object and a third person subject. But in some cases, it's just always there. A, he or she is dancing. That A is always there. It's built in there, and it means it's not going to take an object. To hunt. It's always there. It's just going to be there. Audigan, it's there. And it's just sort of a special thing that turns on, and it's in these two verbs as well. Ayauditi. So you got up, and then you've got ya, which means a vertical surface, or maybe the face of something. There's two things you're going to see an awful lot, and you'll see the next one in the next verb. So these are what we call a thematic prefix in Tlingit. And they just start to sort of change the way the verb works. So you've got objects and subjects, so people who are having things done to them, people doing things, and you have the verb itself, which is made up of a classifier and a group. But then in front of, in between that subject and the object, there's room for what we call thematic prefixes. And they could just change some things. So we'll start with these two. Ya means that it's affecting some vertical thing. So like, in this case, a yauditi, maybe it's because it's moving up against the face of the trees. It's really blowing wind and stormy. So where we're at, stormy usually means wind, not necessarily like thunder and lightning, wind, because that's what really constitutes a storm in Southeast Alaska. And so it starts really blowing against the face of things, and that's probably where it comes from. And then we've got ayakawadan,
Ayakawadan.
ayakawadan,
Ayakawadan.
ayakawadan,
Kawadan.
ayakawadan.
Ayakawadan.
And that's for it to snow really heavy. We've got the ka part in there. Ka is a horizontal surface, ya is a vertical surface. And so sometimes that ya could literally mean the face of something. Sometimes it just has to do with some motion that's affecting a plane, a vertical plane of something. And then ka could mean on something or along sort of a horizontal plane. Or yeah, it could just mean on something. So in this case, how we're done, it's really just dumping snow. And this one is specifically for snow. There's a different one for raining really hard, which we'll look at tomorrow. We'll throw a couple of bonus ones in tomorrow. Drizzle and raining hard. So we've got the sort of full. It's very important. It's important for small talk. It's something that people talk about a lot. Oh, is it raining again? Wow. But it's also, what do I need to wear today? How do I need to prepare for the day? I'm going to speculate on what's going to happen. Might dictate what kind of shoes I put on today. But also a long time ago, they would watch the weather to know when they could go out for their food, when they needed to stay home, how long it might take them to go from here to Egoon, perhaps. And so these are things that are very important. We've got stories about these big storms that come out and things like that. So before we move on, we'll take a short detour, and you got a piece. Sahal has a piece wanted to show us. I will describe it for you. For mass, but I would say like there's multiple things in it.
So in the mouth is a little brown bird.
Mm-hmm.
It's all made out of yellow cedar.
Oh,
It's an
really?
ancestor on the top,
Uh-huh.
all one piece, and then used horsehair for the human.
Right.
Stony can doesn't like human
Human hair is getting sweet. There's my cousin, Kszteeyí du dog du eat. Yeah, Burke Museum Kaya du Yejini. Jeet Kszteeyí. Kszteeyí. Shahabu Kszteeyí. Ეხwასაკუ დაგენახსევე հասყავშიეხ ჩაუდახ я Kszteeyí ხაშხაუინ ეხwასაკუ ვასადუსანტე შინგითხინა დეკახინა ხვიგ იდუსა Talk the Haya has to do. Echasako one Sawe ya Ḳusteeyí ayapanach Ḳusteeyí you Kadain any ditan ata as the Ḳusteeyí has to Shaguni away Llachcade ayayat Llachcade Dianaka
Llachcade.
Llachcade
Llachcade. Llachcade.
What's the Jecheti at Lech Ka at Llachcade ya achten de tani ye ti ya Connach Ḳusteeyí at Tlingit Tlingit di Connach away ya Tlingit in what has to ye ki aya would you say Aka to ye in Hechwa aya ye ya ich ya di away Connach Ḳusteeyí ka wulle chechu away has would the shoot ya ich Hekadin Ḳusteeyí apa ye what da gegnet Shetahini ye pushta up at the ka to chapu echt Kuchte has with the good has to yegi yeah Chatkat ka what Kuchte is da it to yeah is opposite you say aya has to cut sawati echt ka what one means cash Kuchte way is da it to nach just has to yegi Tlingit anika echt aya has to eat yeah Lakota echt aya to the Chana Rina Kawani yeah wait echt hard hatasubo adi hasawe kuditini is kat yah away chakone siyo da ko satan aqaya tatli aya kuditini let's is ye away chishugu away has to ye has to atutini Tash has to tuwa ashku way Khatek the Kakhinach BO Hesh has the way Konach has check on yeah Khatek a way get icht Hesh shoes what's the away to again to chan Hasab Saku Wanach Sawi Aba what has to was Akakain has to done it to shoes the cut with the check or the see Aka Heidu echt Heidu at in Kedin has chips ya has to shachal Wushdach comfy he's kept up to he's either Akhish Khana Kawani Kedan where at Yaki has to us go ya echt awun you hit ya hit clean a tuch away echt hit way on one away to hit chaku away has to shut has to chaku away with echt وأجد تلهدي تنخس أو الخيم تشخاو أشليخ ويوخجة تنخ Ḳusteeyí أتكل كالتجني جاءت آيا تش تكديدي أود شخام كشتك كاوكين هس يوخ أو تلحق قايك الكوزي أتوي التلنجت تندتاني تنخيل كدين أبو سكوكا أبوي يدتي تلنجت جنشو تشاغو أب يا Christianity هاينا كاونيك كالإشكي أتوي إخت Ḳusteeyí هاك وين فني ناو تفيد توسطو يا هيخوائين هستي كشوي إخت كنا خاصة بيت الزين كنا كشنيكي أيه ها أني دي هسه وقا خاصة توسطو هاينا يا كل شدام إخت خدي إخت أو سكو ودام Gook, Kaysan Shaki, K Nai Gook, K Yeltakat Ka, Sha Shaki De, Aslib Yakuk, a Daisy Ayah, Kaysan, a Dusa, Yashama. Ya echt Koaka to eat the she in Jaway. Echt southwest. To eat the she up in a hut. A hit took a down up to us. Wait day, not good. A cook day, and pity a down. Do the she coa a cowhead shan coa. Hat aya has cooked what the shot, what hat cooked what has cooked what jack. Kefach to a ushka. Ya coa. Kach aya cook was she, yek she. Ţuṭṭāyī aya yek hat yati. Akakonach atunach. Cook was she, cake was she. كشف الدسلتيني أتوأ جسحست الخوخية كشيخ كشف الدستيني أتوأ وأ يكوتي يندي بدو إسبا يا ख़uṭṭāyī قنخ وشي أقا هشتستين شاد هستخوخ أيا وجود هشتستين أقا ويخ دوئين كاونيك كي أخ قاو أيا يشاتي يا أخوي أكا كندي قواش أقا ها يا قاو أيا هسك خد كقوت هسك قوجا تاك ويسقا يقاو أيا كنخ أو شات وقاو كاوغواشليين كنخ كاوغوان بوم كاسيي يا قاو كنخ ودك سو قا شاشة أجوي كيف أدات وقاعدة Ḳusteeyí أيقو جنكي أو تسمع يا شكوي أختن دتاني دات Ḳusteeyí إخت Ḳusteeyí Tinechatiti Kapakwas, Yakiti Hatude await the Katayuchat. Ḳusteeyí afterward. Sheesh. Right. You guys get out of that?
There's that part about that if wouldn't bathe.
Yeah, they didn't bathe themselves. Probably because I try to put it together in my brain because people don't talk about this stuff anymore. There's some people who do, and there's certain words that they would use. And I'll show you guys some of the things that they had a certain vocabulary that most people didn't use. But a Lakota friend of mine, whose grandpa was a medicine man, said when they would have ceremony, and his grandpa would have ceremony, and this wasn't just like, like this, there's sweat lodges and stuff, they'd be really powerful, but they would do some really powerful things that they knew about. And they said they would have a door that had all these locks on it. And they would be in a room where all the windows were covered, it was just pitch black. And they'd be singing their songs. And he said you would hear these big footsteps outside. And sometimes his job was to close the door. And his grandpa was like, it's time. And everybody would get in, and he would go to that door, and he would hear something hit them. And go running up the hill. He would close the door and start banging on the door, locking. And it had these locks. And they would start singing, and then you'd hear that door just open and shut like that. And then you could smell like when it just first starts raining, and you could just smell that fresh dirt. Because that's what they'd smell like. And they hated the stink of people, which is why they would, down there, it's not a Tlingit thing, to burn, they would burn sage and stuff to try and purify the air. But the Icht, in my mind, always kept himself or herself, they didn't bathe. Almost like dreadlocks. To keep those spirits away, or else they would hear them all the time. My friends in Lakota, for them, they would whisper Lakota in their ear really fast. And his grandpa said, what? Like they would hit him. Really powerful thing. So that to do something with ceremony, with bathe, or sheet, or whatever. And the way it was explained to me is people lived in all these houses, clan houses, and a bunch of people lived in there. But they would sometimes live in their own little house in the outskirts of the village. It's because they were powerful. They didn't have wives, they didn't have husbands, they didn't have children. They said if you're choosing this life, you're going on your own. And it was a really interesting sort of way of living, that bridge the known world and the supernatural world. And there was a story my grandpa told me about. There was an Ich getting ready for something. He peeked through the cracks of his house and were watching. And he was sitting in a tub bathing himself. And was combing out his hair, and they have special combs for that. They have these things carved, and they got these bone charms and all these other things. And as he was combing his hair out, he would just start moving all through the air. That's it, we're out of time. Weather stuff. We have this mass, so let's talk about it a little bit and see what happens. Kind of a fun exercise. I suppose you guys do something. Tlingit. Tomorrow we'll keep going with our weather, and we'll start getting into some negative forms, talking about being exposed to weather, and then we'll move into future and past type of stuff. Ḳusteeyí, Ḳusteeyí.